right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Stormwater Creek podcast. We are super excited about this one. I feel like this one is definitely one that is a new one for us. Sometimes we get some guests that you've always heard before, and these are
Always
definitely
heard before, like forever.
Yeah.
Forever. I don't know.
Continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, we are super excited to have the guys and gals from Pointer Outfitters and Cutting Edge Outfitters here, and we are coming at you internationally. We're in the States, they're in Argentina, and we're super excited to talk to you guys. So, tell us about yourselves.
Hey, nice to meet you. Thanks for the invitation, Abe. I don't know if in America you guys have a pandemia. A pandemia just arrived to Argentina a few weeks ago. People are trying to find a vaccine, and we are just trying to find a new job. Well, I'm kidding. It's not that. In terms of having fun, being in a fire pit, having some drinks, and talking with friends. We work all year round. We ran 9 lodges in 4 different states. We've been in business for kind of a decade already. We're a group of very enthusiastic, young, powerful people with a lot of expertise of taking care of entertaining and fun and responsibility at the same time. So imagine you are here at the fire pit in one of our lodges. Imagine the sparking fire, the drinks, the ice, and talking about how was your day today? Well, if you're in Argentina, you will not remember the number of birds. If you're in Texas, you will say, hey, I got my limit, 15 birds. Well done, boy, you got your limit. Well, in Argentina, there is no limits. And that's why we would like Kyle to come here and enjoy with us, because Argentina is really a further experience than just pulling the trigger and shooting some birds. It's about the culture, it's about the people, it's about a different idiosyncrasy. It's about being in a country that is far away from home, and when you realize how important is your family, how important is your country, how important are your friends, and how good it is to meet new friends, and especially friends from Argentina. And it's the same way here when we go to America and we spend there a couple of weeks at the conventions or visiting friends, and we walk to places in the middle of Texas, and there is some trailers and some fire pits, and people telling you, there is some hogs here, let's go and shoot some hogs. It's not about the hogs, it's about camaraderie, it's about having fun together, it's about, new friends, new people, checking the difference in between your boots and my boots because they are boots from different countries. So tell me if you got a specific question, because if you want to talk about fun, there is a lot of things I can give you.
Man, Pablo, we want to hear the whole deal, everything. I mean, Jordan's been in Argentina for work before, but I think you were just kind of locked in a building fixing things, right?
No, I was in, and you're probably going to make fun of the way I say it, Nikin. I came down there for work, and you're talking about the culture down there. It was one of the greatest experiences just to be in the culture down there. Everyone was super friendly. I was in a country where I don't speak the language, and I speak a little bit of it, especially border Spanish, because I'm from down south in Texas, and people thought I was pretty funny, and they were real friendly with me. They wanted to talk to me, and I had a great time down in Argentina. All I want to do is go back. I mean, the friends I made down there, I would love to see them again. I mean, it was just like having a family down there. They took care of me. I did a lot of stuff down there that was just super fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So, as far as how you guys got started, so just, I guess, maybe we should start with the fact that who you just heard was Pablo, and we also have Stacy King from Pointer Outfitters, and Kyle from Cutting Edge Outfitters, and you serve as kind of the United States base of operations for them, right?
I'm one of the few people here in the DFW area that helps represent Pointer Outfitters. So we kind of got linked up with Pablo. It goes back before Cutting Edge Outfitters. Danny's grandfather hunted with Pablo for many, many years, and then Danny went a few times, and then Danny, the founder of Cutting Edge Outfitters, and then brought me along, and of course, just similar how kind of Danny and I come together. Well, Pablo and Pointer come with Danny as well, so we kind of all teamed up together and getting ready for our trips to Argentina, and looking at doing different wing shooting, from the doves to mixed bag, purdies, ducks, doves, cast and blast. We're looking forward to doing all that, and then setting people up with their hunt of a lifetimes as well. I know that's a lot of people's kind of a trip of a lifetime to go down to Argentina and shoot some doves and ducks and all that kind of stuff. So
I feel like some is an understatement.
Piles would be better.
And so Stacy, where do you fit into the mix here?
Thank you for asking. I actually live south of Dallas in Waxahachie.
Okay.
I have the U.S. operations here, and so I work with Kyle and several other representatives, and we do a lot of our marketing actually through social marketing. We decided that it worked best for us to connect with organizations all over the country, nonprofit organizations, and we partner with them, and we have some vouchers for them that we work with them for fundraising. And we use that as our marketing instead of spending a lot of money on advertising and things like that, because we found that the best marketing we could have is getting people to visit us in Argentina. And then they come back the next year and they're like, where's the Argentina trip? We want to offer, to take another Argentina trip. And they talk to their friends and get them involved. So we've decided that's really the best marketing tool that we could use. And we do that instead of investing lots of dollars in ads on social media and things like that. We do run a lot of social media things from our own web pages and things like that, and do our own announcements of special things coming up through social media. But we don't have to spend a lot of money on the marketing, because the way we treat people speaks for itself.
Word of mouth, right?
Good. Now we're talking. She's been practicing that for the whole month. You can't believe it.
It was flawless.
It was perfect.
It was wonderful.
You had the cards going and everything.
Pablo, I'm doing good. Listen, now let me go to the beginning. Pablo was walking in Dallas, and Pablo met Wayne.
Okay.
Wayne has been a very good friend of mine, and Wayne taught us and showed us how positive is generosity. Not only when you do business, also when you are around people. Generosity could be just, grab a glass, get beer on a glass, and give it to somebody that is sitting there in the middle of the fire pit, relax, and just remembering his family. Well, what we learn is, if we scratch somebody's back, it's coming back. What we learn is, if we deliver what we promise, it's coming back. If we meet with new people and we encourage them for new goals, and they get to the goals, life gives you back. One day, I remember after like 5 years, we started up with Pointer Outfitters. Somebody asked me, Pablo, what do you think was that make it so successful to your company? And I said, well, man, I think I've been lucky. People love us. And I said, Pablo, tell me something. How many hours have you been working today? Well, I started working 6 in the morning, probably woke up at 5, then I drove to one of the lodges. Pablo, what time is it now? Well, 11:30 at night, and we're having a whiskey. Okay, man, it's not lucky. You guys work hard. Yes, definitely. We work hard, and we believe people have different skills, and you got to be very smart in business to find out what are their best skills. What we try to find is people that are very good in human approaches. They are very good on communication, very good on taking care of people. When you see that somebody needs something, you got to be there ready, because if I go to a country in Africa, Asia, even in North America, it's not my language, it's not my country, and I can be in an airport just trying to catch out another plane, and I would love to have somebody to help me, even telling me that direction.
Yeah,
Pablo.
just go that way. Yeah.
That's how we understand the business. People will have questions, people will have needs, and we got to be there. The easiest part hate are the birds.
Yeah.
The easiest part. We've been in business for such a long time that the easiest part are the birds. So we now are focused on people. We've been focused on people all our lives. People will tell you that. But we understand that we make the difference there. And I'm going to make a short thing like we set up a nonprofit to help the people around us in this community 5 years ago. And we've been helping. But what we learned is that they've been helping us.
Yeah.
That's funny, huh?
It's always the way it works, right?
You're smart enough, you're helping, and they were helping you.
Yeah, that's a cool story. To think, like you said, you're like, oh, I'm gonna help you out, and then you turn around and, wow, you're actually doing me a favor here, you know. So that's pretty cool. As far as your history, did you kind of grow up a hunter and fisherman, or kind of an outdoorsman, if you will, or get into it later in life?
I grew up in a farm about 3 hours from Buenos Aires City. My family owns a farm over there. We used to shoot perdiz, but we were more on the horse riding. Then I've been lucky when I went to Buenos Aires to study at university. I got a good friend that took me to Patagonia for the first time when I was 19, and we started fly fishing. And that was kind of a sickness that I still have. If you see me shaking, it's because I was not fishing.
These two, Jordan and Abe, are fly fishermen.
Yes, sir.
The leg you see down there in the lower left-hand corner is a fly fisherman. And me.
So fly fishing in Argentina, you guys know, is kind of a summit. You know, if you come for golden dorado, for trout, some of the best trout fishing, like the silver and brown trouts in South Patagonia, or the rainbow trout at the South Patagonia, either in a place like Strobel Lake or the Jurassic Lake. People know them from both names. It's kind of fun. So we can talk about fishing and hunting too a lot. Argentina is very well known about ducks, about perdiz, that is kind of a quail, but it's not in coveys. It's a single bird that flash and flies. You hunt it with dogs. There is also big volume doves. That's probably the best well-known of Argentina. And also big game, some red stag, water buffaloes, some exotics. And like you guys said,
didn't know that.
All that mixed with the culture is a very good combination.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
So let's talk about, we'll get to, travel and transporting weapons and all this. You mentioned a word that I'm not familiar with, a purdy. And so did you, Kyle. What is that?
Yeah, I've been trying to look it up. I can't spell it, apparently. We talked about how...
You just keep spelling it P-R-E-E-T-T-I-D.
All I come up with is Purdy girls.
So it's spelled P-E-R-D-I-E-Z. It's perdiz. And like he was saying, it's an upland bird, I guess.
Kind of like a grouse.
It's similar to a grouse. I'd say it's probably more about the size of a chucker.
Okay.
And kind of that. And it's
like a chucker.
So they're single dwelling, like he said, not in coveys.
So you run upland dogs and flush them and point them and all that
do
mess.
Do the whole upland, walking out there in the field and flush them out.
All right. So you mentioned, as you said, Pablo, Argentina, is dove. Argentina dove hunt, and you go and shoot 1,000 dove and all this. But you mentioned ducks, which we're very much into, and now we know what a perdiz is. And you mentioned a cast and blast. Why don't you talk about all the things y'all do? What kind of ducks do you see? Let's start with what kind of ducks do y'all? Let's start with ducks. I mean, we know you do dove. That's straightforward. What kind of ducks do you see in Argentina? What kind of duck hunting do you have?
13 different species of ducks, and if we're going to go specifically to the ducks we have and all the birds, and I can tell you the best ones, the most looking forward bird when people come to Argentina is the rosy-bill. That's kind of the mecca.
Rosy-bill?
There is 13 different species, and I should have here one of our head guys to talk to you about ducks, and you will be all night talking about ducks.
Yes.
I would like to talk more about experience and talking about the species we have. We got many species, but I would like to say, if somebody is listening to this and is in Texas somewhere and is thinking about going to Argentina, probably that guy never been abroad or been abroad but never been in South America. And sometimes they even confuse if they are coming to Argentina or Brazil. So the first thing I should say is, It's a very friendly destination, very extremely friendly destination. So why will people will come here is for the experience, is the fun, hunting the birds and having a good time, but also because people can take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys want to go specifically to the details on the hunting, I can tell you what people should expect. Like arriving to international airport, a very serious person from the company, even our company or another company in Argentina, because there is serious companies in Argentina that can take you hunting. They're going to take you driving 2 hours, 3 hours to a lodge. You're going to arrive to a lodge. You're going to have a great meal. They're going to provide you with shotguns. They're going to provide you with waders. There is going to be people getting the decoys for you. You say, let me help you. No, sir, no worries. We take care. You're going to be there ready for shooting some birds. Depending on the areas, the limits can be up or down, but you're expecting to shoot 20, 25 birds. If you're talking about ducks, you can be talking about unlimited ducks, and you're going to be talking about 8 10 birds, depending on the area you're talking. But it's all about the experience. You know, we got people that come here and they can shoot 2 birds when you're talking about per days. And the experience, if they see the dogs working and the dogs are working good and the people is nice, is more than enough.
Absolutely.
Weather conditions can affect you. Yes, sometimes 10% of the times. Unlucky moments, let's say you got a problem with the truck, 2% of the times. So really the complications in this kind of hunting are very, very slow. It's not like I did with a friend from Houston, Ralph Tipton. We went to Nicaragua for fishing huge tarpon, and the water was brown. So we've been there for a week, and there was not a single fish. So that is not something that's going to happen to you when you come to Argentina. You can have, Pablo, the birds are a little higher than yesterday. Well, buddy, it's only 5 yards. Yeah, but I a lot today. My field assistant is winning the competition. I owed him $100. Well, they're not that high. It could happen 2 or 3% of the times if it's extremely cold and the wind is not in the best situation. That for a few, let's say maybe for an hour, they're gonna be very, very high, and you got to do like those bridge shots where the birds are almost very impossible to see. But normally, I will say 95% of the time, the conditions help and the birds are amazing, and the food is also something unique. And let me be back to you, Abe. You said something about talking Spanish. I'm gonna tell you my experience. When you guys come here, please do not talk Spanish.
Yeah, I think I was talking to somebody else about the differences in Spanish. It's just Spanish is not Spanish, right? There's
English
difference.
is not English.
English is not English. You're right, because
Like-
everybody speaks a little bit of a different
Oh yeah.
dialect of it.
Go to Louisiana.
Oh,
Your
my
brother
God.
and his people. I mean, I just don't even know.
My
what-
coworker, was talking to someone from New York and was speaking Spanish, and finally the lady cut him off and was like, "If you wanted to practice Spanish, you could have told me, but let's just talk English."
Yeah.
And he was like, "What?" Like it's different types, different kinds
dialect.
of
Yeah,
for
dialect.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's crazy. Yeah, don't worry. I won't speak Spanish, except for gracias. Is that a thing? Can I say that?
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'm gonna give you another example from Wayne. Wayne was one day talking to kids in the school, and he was trying very hard to speak in Spanish. And when he finished, the little girl just in front of him said, "What did he say?" So from then on, we said, "Wayne, please, you talk to them. We translate your Spanish to Spanish."
That's funny.
So you're talking about the experience, Pablo. You said you get to the airport, you get off, you meet somebody, you drive to the lodge. After that, what's a normal day at the lodge?
Well, it's a good question. First question will be, depending on the time, guys, we go straight to the field, we go to the lodge. And then you see if it is a family, if it is a couple of couples, or if it is young chaps your age that are ready to pull the trigger and they are anxious and desperate first trip. So the guides are prepared to just make a decision and change plans. And okay, this guy's gonna go just try to the fun. Some other people need to stop, or depending on the time, we take it easy. Repeated clients that already been in Argentina for many, many, many times, I will say, Pablo, let's take it easy on the first day, and then they go and rock it. But what you should expect is a group of people ready to receive. Normally the flights get in the morning. They wait for you at the field with the lunchtime barbecue most of the time. We get different types of barbecue, like from pork to cattle, cattle to chicken, and we prepare different addresses for the barbecue. And you will not believe it, but most of the people remember more the barbecues in the field and lying down on the hammocks than the big volume of dubs. I'm gonna give you another experience. Uh, Crazy people told me they go to bed at night and they close their eyes and they see birds flying.
Absolutely. We've had a couple hunts where that's been the case. Sandhill, we did sandhill crane in West Texas. They're big birds. They make a really interesting noise, and for 2 days afterward, Abe and I would text him like, I'm still hearing these things.
Yeah. It's like
you just hear like sounds like a giant dove, but I 100% believe that.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It happens to you guys that you go to bed and you still listen to your wife talking.
Mm-hmm. That too. That too. So as far as just like if I'm flying from Dallas, right? How far of a flight is it down? I'm guessing you fly into Buenos Aires.
Yes, that's the main airport. But there is also very good connections through Cordoba, stopping in Chile, Santiago City, or Peru, or not as often, but could be people coming through Panama. There is good connection through Houston, Panama, Cordoba, Buenos Aires, or Panama, Buenos Aires. But guys, we need to see what's going to happen after this reopening. Argentina was in a ban travel. Our government thought it was the best to taking care of his people, and now they decided to open it. So we got from tomorrow on, we got some foreign people coming to the country from around Argentina, and then from 30 days from now, 1st November, we're going to have people coming from around the world. It made a huge difference in our statistics. The vaccine, we are a small country, big country with small population, guys, sorry. 40 million people only, and we got now like 80% of the population with one vaccine and 40% of the population with two vaccines. And the government thinks it's time to come back to business. It's summertime. Most of the time we are outside. That helps a lot. And the fishing and hunting timing is right now.
Yeah.
That was my next question. Is there a better time of year? So is it fall, or is there something to do year round? I mean, obviously fishing probably, but what's the best time of year?
Well, it's a great question, and everyone asks that. It's about, if you talk about dove hunting, you can come anytime, and we're going to get you in a very good fun. If you want to do a couple of combination things, like, for example, cast and blast, I would suggest your winter, guys, is our summer. If you want to do like bird hunting, different species, your summer, our winter. And if you want to do a little bit of big game, that will be your spring, our autumn. And you can mix spring with birds. So making easy, birds are there all the time. Then you got combination with fishing, with big game, or with ducks. And it's summer, winter, spring.
What does y'all's winter look like? Does it get cold there?
It's, the weather in Cordoba, let's talk about Cordoba. It's kind of Dallas. Our winter is like your winter, and our summer is like your summer, but opposite times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been playing golf in your yellow fields in Dallas, and it's the same here when it's yellow fields in Argentina because the winter is not helping, for the golf courses. Mm-hmm. I've been there in Dallas in the middle of winter for Dallas Safari Club, sunny, beautiful with a shirt, and I've been there like, with a 0 degrees and no running away from the hotel.
Yep.
So it's kind of the same here.
Interesting.
One thing that is different, the weather when you go duck hunting in America is a little bit more unpolite. Here in Argentina, I will say 20% of the times is as cold and uncomfortable as it is in America, and 80% of the times is a little bit much more friendly. Sometimes you only need a lighting weather, and that's enough. Limits can be made in 10 minutes here when you go duck hunting.
Hey guys, wanted to talk to you about one of our new partners, Cutting Edge Outfitters. They're one of North Texas's most premier outfitting organizations. They got over 50 years of hunting and guiding experience. These guys are awesome. Kyle and Danny can put you on a great hunt. They can put you up for the night in their magnificent lodge that they have. They are really good partners and supporters of the Stormwater Creek podcast, and we are super excited to have them on board and to partner with those guys moving forward. So make sure you tell them that when you book a hunt with them that you heard about them on the Stormwater Creek podcast, and check them out at cuttingedgeoutfitters.com.
Wow.
That's awesome. Man.
If you can shoot.
Question, Abe. Come on, Abe.
If you can
shoot me.
If you can shoot. Well, I mean, I think my biggest question, is just, so let's say that I want to go on a trip like this, and, my wife doesn't hunt. Is there a spot for me is there a place for my wife to come, or
can she
is
just
there
hang out at the lodge?
Yeah, is there something for her to do besides obviously the hunting is going to be fabulous and the fishing, but what about my wife who just wants to hang out and travel along? Is there an option for her?
You've been reading about our company, or that was
well, I'm a professional.
A question just for that.
Don't lie to these people.
Yeah.
Don't you lie to them.
We are probably the company that get a focus on travel and leisure. Also, we got a sister company called Beagle International, and Beagle International have kind of different areas like Beagle Tours, Beagle Private Flights, Beagle Experience, that is specific lodges around the world, Beagle Packages, and Beagle Birding. There is different things. So in all of our lodges, we develop things for non-hunters, because once we had the first couples and the ladies didn't want to get out, we started organizing, even for the gentlemen, ABT tours, horse riding, polo lessons, cooking lessons. We did visiting the cities. We did wineries, where we just opening everything, because it happens to me. I always think, Pablo, if you will be traveling, what or how would you like people to treat you? And I made a trip like 5 years ago to Tanzania for fishing tigers in the middle of nowhere. And they told me, if you want to do something, go to Zanzibar Island. But they never offered me nothing. And I Googled Zanzibar Island when I get back to home, and it was a paradise. And I would have loved it if they would have get me a flight, a hotel, and somebody to entertain me when I was there, even by my own. And I lost that paradise because nobody thought about it. So after that, we made two decisions. One, we go every angle of the travel industry. Second, we need to have what we call like a tracking for our guests, a tracking system where somebody's all the time, 24/7 with a phone, knowing if they need something, they can call us. Because what happens to me at that trip is that the transportation that should have picked me up at 4 a.m. never show up. And I never want somebody to have that experience, calling very desperate to get somebody to take me to an airport in the middle of Tanzania, where I know there is nothing I can do with my Spanish, with that Swahili. So that's how we think, Abe. Somebody's coming to our country. And I'm going to give you an example from somebody from Texas. It was a family, and they told me, Pablo, can you take us to a zoo? Nobody asked me that before. And we did it. And that gentleman, when he finished the hunting, he came with two daughters, 15, 17 years old. He said, Pablo, nobody treated me as a king before. That was like 7 years ago. And I learned that's the answer. We need to treat people like they are kings. And that guy gave me back coming to Dallas. He helped me at a show with his daughter. They did a great, very friendly, generous, no charging, nothing, just giving back. And that was an amazing experience. But what I really learned is you got to treat people like kings. Even people like our friend Kyle, who helped us in Dallas and forward and all around the country. If he comes to Argentina, he's the king, man. So, Abe, guys, if you want to come to Argentina, you got to come with Kyle.
Okay.
You will be the king here, but remember,
Absolutely.
he's already the king.
Yeah, you're already the king.
Exactly. He already knows his way around.
So you've been before, Kyle?
I have not actually.
Not made it down yet, huh?
I was.
That's why he keeps saying it.
Yeah,
He's
come on,
got to
come
get
on.
you down there.
I'm ready to go. I'm
Yeah.
ready to have y'all
For
y'all
sure.
down there with me.
I think it'll be a
Absolutely.
blast, So, I mean, I think I kind of would like to start talking dove and just kind of, from a standpoint of the dove hunting, like you said, that's clearly I think when people talk about
That's a
hunting in
staple.
Argentina, that's what everybody would guess right off the bat.
And there's so many stories. I have friends and
Yeah.
clients just talk about the dove hunting because you hear so many things. Are they wives' tales?
You
Is it-
hear things and you see
Yeah,
Instagram,
it's
you
just
see
like-
different things, and you're
Yeah.
like, what's going on? Where is
Are there
this?
that many birds down there?
I'm gonna give you some stories, Abe, so people have some fun.
Absolutely.
All right.
Stories are the best.
I've been in Alabama. I've been in Alabama with a good friend of mine, close by to Foley, southern of Foley, in Magnolia Spring. He said, Pablo, we're gonna go to dove hunting. And he was telling me, and he thought he was honoring me. And I say, what you talking, Mark? Yes, we're gonna go dove hunting in Alabama. Okay, and they got shrimps, what I love, and beers. And suddenly they said, okay, ready to go to the blind? I said, there is no birds here. What you mean ready to go to the blinds? Well, the birds are gonna come. We got to go to the blinds. And I said, Mark, and that's the difference between Argentina and America. I said, Mark, would you mind if I get some more shrimps before I join you? He said, no worries. So in that 30 minutes where I was getting some more shrimps and another kind of beer, I listened probably 25 shots, and they probably shot 5 birds. When you're hunting in Argentina and you got your field assistant behind you saying, sir, to the right, sir, to the left, you normally after 10 minutes you say, hey, that's enough. I see them. I see them coming. I can't take care of all of them. Let me do it by my own. Okay, sir, you're shooting behind. Sir, you're shooting in front.
I need that. I need that real bad.
Oh, yeah.
I got that one. No, sir, you missed that one. That's a little further in the back.
I'll take it.
No. And when there is a competition, Abe, it's like golfing. 8. No, that was 10. It's like you're missing your counting, especially in Argentina where there is so many birds. You got to tell them, guys, no, that one was not dead. And it's fun. It's great, the camaraderie. What I enjoy a lot is when I see a group of people like you guys coming here to Argentina and the camaraderie they live together. Especially because, this world where we got Instagram, Facebook, and different social media, and we think we are connected. Mm-hmm. Sometimes somebody lives in Fort Worth, the other guy lives in Dallas, and somebody lives in Houston, but you don't see really each other maybe in 1, 2, 3 years. And when I got those guys coming together, and they know each other from school or from university, and they finally did that trip, the men's trip together, and they have some fun, and they talk about how they were having fun 20 years ago and why they don't see each other as often, and they are already planning a trip to come back together in 2 years. That's when we understand how important is the camaraderie, how important is to keep that time for not only for our families, also for our friends, and for the people is important for us.
Absolutely.
Bringing people together.
I mean, that's why we half the time we hang out, just because of the camaraderie and
for sure.
The
Thursday,
company.
every Thursday night is a thing.
It's always nice. You got to make time for your friends, right?
Yep.
And nothing like a Argentinian duck hunt to do it.
If you promise me that you will take me to Javier's to get a cigar in Dallas next time I pop up,
100%. I was gonna ask, are you for sure? Are you gonna be up here in January for the Safari Club?
Yeah, after your invitation, be sure.
Please do. We will definitely go make that happen because
I'll make that happen with y'all.
That place is awesome, and we're super excited about going to the Safari Club this year. We didn't get to go last year. I think we were on a goose hunt.
Yeah, we were.
We went on a speckle belly hunt down in Louisiana, and so we missed out on Safari Club. So we're definitely going to keep it on the books for this year. So, just from a standpoint of coming down there, you get picked up at the airport, you get taken to the lodge. Like I said, you do some cleanup, get some food, kind of depending on what you want to do. You go through a wonderful vacation and trip. What's the return flight home like? Do you get to keep any of the meat, anything like that, or is it all kind of stay there? What's that story look like?
I guess more. I agree with your question, but more or less, say like I like to collect ducks. We all do.
Yeah.
Yep.
if I shoot some cool species that are Argentinian only, can I bring those back for?
I got a good news. I got good news for you guys. There was a regulation from 2007 that was kind of a hassle and a complication for taking birds home when we are talking about ducks.
Mm-hmm.
And since last year, that was changed and has been changed, and now there is a much easier and friendly way to ship birds back to home in America. But before that, it was impossible because the regulation was very simple and was illegal. Now, the last updated I had this year is that we are able to ship like in between 6 to 8 different species. Do not ask me right now which ones are because I didn't do my homework. I
No
was not
problem.
expecting that kind of questions. Let's talk about shotguns a little bit. If you ask me how many people bring their own gun, I will say 1%.
Really?
Why?
So that is a
Well,
thing. You can.
No, you can, but you got to do the hassle of going through customs and getting the stamp and all that kind of things. And when you're shooting birds, only if you are so tall or so small that you got a customized shotgun, I will say bring your own. Or you are like that kind of fanatic of your own gun and it has been customized for you and it fits you perfect. Well, bring your own gun, be ready for 1 or 2 hour hustle at the airport, and that's all. The problem is when you come in a group of 10 people and you're the only one with a shotgun.
Ugh.
It's good to know before. What we normally do, we send a different car or a different pickup truck to get that guy.
Adios.
So the other guy doesn't
Good
have
luck.
to be in a coffee shop in at the airport, just getting coffee 10 in the morning, waiting for John that is busy with his shotgun.
Yeah, probably not worth it.
No.
Yeah, and plus, if you use one of theirs, then you can use the excuse of I'm missing because it's not my shotgun.
Yeah, this isn't my
It's true.
I'm used to my
You've got a
shotgun.
safety net. That's true.
I need all the help I can
Excuses are
get.
very important. Who is the smart guy talking there?
Jordan.
That's
George
me.
over here.
I know what I'm doing.
You do not talk much, but when you talk, man, you're good. Excuses are
Yeah.
very important.
Exactly.
I got a ton of excuses for you.
Speak
That's-
softly and
that's-
carry a
that's
big
genius.
stick.
Hey, if I tell you honestly, I am kind of an average shot. And, I used to be a guide for like 10 years in the field every day, having fun, making jokes, because without the jokes, it could be boring. But
Yeah.
making jokes and, being serious, people really loved it. But sometimes I got these very good guys shooting birds and saying, Pablo, I thought you were a much better shot. I said, John, you're wrong. I don't feed my kids shooting birds. You are the one shooting the birds. I feed my kids talking to you.
Exactly.
So how good at doing talking to you? Say, Pablo, you do great. You're probably the best. I said, I'm happy. I am happy about it. I'm an average shot, but I can have a lot of fun when I got people hunting with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what matters.
Absolutely. A guide's job's not to shoot. Guide's job's to put you on birds and keep you entertained.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And you are an expert when you make somebody that is a regular shot feels like he's an expert.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure.
Well, I am too. I would say right now I'm shooting below average.
You're doing better than me.
Yeah, but
Welcome to the club.
yeah. So I feel you. I need to definitely put. What do we have? 6 weeks before big duck season here, and
Basically.
Yeah, basically.
I got 6 weeks
Okay,
to,
I
to
got
get
it. You
myself
want to come
shaped
for
up.
free and get some birds, Dave? I know. You want to come practicing.
That's what I want to do. I want to
Okay,
get down there and
Kyle, you
practice.
can bring Abe as an invitation. He can be our host and our guest, and stay with us. We got an invitation for you, Abe.
All right.
Well,
Looking forward to having him down.
Yeah, so be a lot of fun. So, so I guess just from a standpoint of I'm listening to this podcast and I got to know some. How do I get in touch? What do I need to do?
Stacy.
What's taken care of?
Yeah.
What do you guys handle? What do I need
Kyle
to?
and Stacy will make the magic for every person that wants to come to Argentina. My role is to be there when things needs to be fixed. There is an unpleasant job that is where things doesn't look like, Pablo, my flight has been canceled. My flight has been rescheduled. We're not arriving 10 in the morning. We're going to be there 3 in the morning. Who is going to pick me up? No worry, John. We'll take it care. But when you want to organize a trip, There is great people at our office in US or in Argentina. Kyle, Stacy are kind of the people we got in the office. And in Argentina, people like Cami, Vicky, Agustina, Candy, Florencia, Alcy will help you set up the trip. Even guys, I'm gonna be honest, when people, some of my friends that been hunting with me for more than 20 years, Pablo, can I get reservations? And they call me to my personal phone and say, yes, John, but it's not what I do every day, and I'm gonna screw it up. Please call. And I put them in contact, and I send a message. Cami, please handle this for me, because I'm not good at that. But when things go wrong and something is not as we were expected, that's when I have to pop up. Yeah. That's my real business.
Problem solver.
And then try to put things in together.
That makes complete sense. Yeah, you can't speak for the schedule. You know, that's what Kyle and Stacy do for sure. You want to step on those toes.
So, Stacy, kind of to what Jared was saying. So if I'm booking a trip, what are the things that I need to kind of be prepared for? What are some things to look out? Some tips to kind of, hey, you should. This is one of those things that it's easily overlooked.
Sure, I can tell you that number one, our website is www.pointeroutfitters.com, and we do our best to put all kinds of scenarios on there, facts about what to expect when you get there, how you should pack, the weather conditions, things like that. We put all kinds of information out on our website. But next to that, I'm going to connect you to one of the ladies on the ground in Argentina that can tell you exactly the conditions of when you're coming, if you need to pack differently for something, depending upon what you want to hunt or fish while you're there. They're also going to get you to fill out an information sheet so they can get to know you. What do you like to drink? What's your favorite food? Do you have any dietary issues? What are some things you might want to see while you're in the area? So those folks on the ground in Argentina that I'm going to connect you with, I can tell you all the general information about trips. I can tell you about the lodges. I got to visit most of them at my last trip there. We got home 2 days before the airlines in the country shut down last year for pandemic.
Wow.
And so we came home to a much different world than we were kind of in a fun, happy bubble there in Argentina. And when we landed for customs on the US side, boy, things were different.
Yeah.
But I'm going to connect you with the people that are in charge of the details. They know every aspect of the lodge that you're staying in. If you are staying at Hunting Cabin, for example, it's a smaller lodge. It's appropriate for 2 to 6 people. If you are bringing 12 fraternity brothers with you, that you guys do an annual hunt somewhere, then we're going to want to put you at San Javier or La Loma Lodge. But those are the things that we can help with and get all of that ball rolling. You tell us what you want to do, how many people you're bringing, then we connect you with the right people in the right lodges in the office, and they help you set up. We do waiters, we do rent waiters and things like that for you, so you can bring your own if you want. But when you're looking at the weight of the luggage, it's probably easier for you to rent those kind of things from us. So those are the details and things that we're involved in, and that we include Cami and the ladies in the office, because they know every detail.
They've helped get people there thousands of times, and so
yes. They're also great at helping say you fly through Buenos Aires, but you need to take a regional flight to the lodge area where you're staying. Well, they'll help you know which flight company you should book with, which is the best one to take, and what's the most convenient. If you need help, say your flight arrives and there's not a flight from Buenos Aires to where you're going to be hunting, we can help you locate a hotel to stay in Buenos Aires until you leave. Just every little detail that you can imagine, we have people that take care of that.
It's covered. Wow. That's nice, because having that peace of mind of just knowing that you got somebody there to watch out for you in that situation. Because for us in the United States, you're not going to, it's not a trip to Montana where you're like, well, right. I know.
Or even to Cancun.
Or Cancun even,
Right.
That's pretty turnkey. They're very used to, constant influx of Texans going down there for a weekend.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
For sure.
I can tell you a question we get from families is, how safe is it?
Mm-hmm.
Just an example, when my daughter was in college, I was completely at ease with her staying 2 months with other college girls in Buenos Aires, completely safe, great family atmosphere. So it's really one of the easiest places you can travel as a family.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Interesting.
So I guess to kind of elaborate more on that, say we book a trip with you guys. Uh, obviously you have people who are going to get us all the information we need. Um, as far as bringing things, I mean, you guys cover all aspects of it, even obviously shotguns, ammunition, things like that. Pretty much, we just book a trip with you guys. We get information and we come down. Is what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. Now, I would say my husband's comment was bring a shoulder pad
okay.
because you're going to shoot more than you have ever in your life in one day. And so he would say bring a shoulder pad because you're going to use it.
Okay.
Your gloves, your guns get really hot. So you want to make sure that you have good shooting gloves that are not going to melt or anything when you're using the guns. There are unique things like that, but we do provide the guys that book your trip, they send you an email with all the details of suggestions of things that you might want to bring depending on what time of year it is.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And as far as packages go, is it a certain kind of packages for a certain, X amount of time, or is it like, hey, we want to come down for a week? Is that an option? Or, hey, we just want to come down for 3 days. Do you guys have certain packages you guys lay out for people?
Or is it all custom?
Yeah, is it customizable? Like, what sort of, packages can people see on the website and, options are there?
Pablo, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, everything is customized. I learned that very quick. Once I told Tim Dennis, a very good friend of mine from Missouri, he wanted to chart a private plane and shoot one more morning, and the times were very tight. And I said, Tim, I think it's not possible. And he said, Pablo, I didn't ask you if it is possible. I asked you if you're able to make it happen. And believe me, I learned my lesson. And I said, Tim, I'm going to tell you exactly your schedule, what you got to do. If you do what I tell you, you're going to make it happen. You're right, Tim. And we made it. So we are in all details. We can customize trips. We swap trips. We are very understandable. We got people that bought trip for 4 people, and they call me 1 year or 2 years after. We're ready to make the trip, and we are ended up being 3. No worries. We're going to find out a way to return you or get you credit for that. Or people that were supposed to come in 2 years, and they were not able to join the group, or they got kids and they were not making the trip. We give them extra time. With the pandemia, people that had trips with us, all the limits were completely flexible. Come whenever you want, come whenever you can. We just want to hear. We believe people should hear exactly what I would like to hear if I'm going Oman for fishing, Mongolia for fishing, or the Spain for getting some trout in Andorra. So that's very important. The other thing is very important for people to know. One day we were hunting doves, and this was exactly 2 years after we started by our own. And we get a guy that came and told me, Pablo, I don't know if it is a smart thing to recommend you, but you should have iced tea.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happened for that guy when he arrived to the lodge? He got iced tea.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of things we try to listen to people, because the day we stop listening to people, our business is out.
Yeah.
And it's not only the guest. A lot of time people think the most important people for us is our guest. Sorry to disappoint you. The most important people for us is our people. Is Kyle, is Stacy, is Cami, is Tata, is Carlos, is Fede, is my brother Nacho, my brother Juan, everyone involved at Pointer, because they are there every day. Just being sure that your 4 days looks like you're having one of the most unexpected trip you ever can make. Abe, sometimes I will say 25-30% of the time people coming hunting here with us, they've been saving the money to make the trip.
Mm-hmm.
So we should be very, very respectful with our people, as we are very, very respectful, and we take a lot of care with those very high-end guys that land with the G5, 10 people. And I got to be very honest, I will say 98 of the Americans, even the very high end, they are very respectful.
Yeah.
Very, very respectful. When you tell them, this is the line, please let's not do that, everyone understands and respects it. So it's very easy for us to make it happen. When people respect you, it's very easy to do it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if there is another question you guys want to know about customer service or customizing trips. I will say probably we are the most flexible group But again, we are in a moment in our life that we believe the sun should be shining for everybody, and there is more companies in Argentina. And I will say probably a lot of people will have a lot of fun going with some other companies. What I think we do different is the treatment and the people and how we make that little things difference. But again, it's a very nice country. You know, people should not be aware to come to a country like
Sure.
Argentina. So we hope to see you here one day.
I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's
Definitely
gonna
on
be a
my
lot of
list
fun.
now.
Yeah.
So if we come, we could shoot ducks and dove. Pretty
Yes,
much.
sir.
All right, that's the ticket then. Absolutely.
Sold.
All
So
in.
with that,
I gotta tell you something funny. You know what I used to do a lot when we've been in the field. We used to do bets with some of our very good friends because in 1 or 2 days, in a group of 10, 6 people, 8 people, you get camaraderie with one or two.
Sure.
So
For sure.
by the 2 or 3rd day, you get to the blind and say, "Okay, babe, you and I, let's shoot 2 shells each." And we just take your BBs, we put some feathers in your shell. When you get to your second shot, you know, all the feathers are flying, all the guys are there, all the field guys are there. Everybody's just waiting to make it happen, to see how it's going. And that little things, it was make the trip different.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stories
that's
like
good.
that. There is a lot of stories like that. And we started talking about fire pits. I'm gonna tell you stories when we are at the fire pit in Argentina.
Okay.
So one thing that
good.
really sticks out to me, especially about Pointer, is that I know that y'all are conservation minded and very big on making sure that we have huntable populations and things like that. And
Absolutely.
that's something that even talking with family and friends here about, you know, Argentina, you just go down there, there's no limit, you know, all those kinds of things. That's one thing that Pointer is very active in working with biologists down there to do studies on the ducks and the doves and the wildlife that's down there, and making sure that they are at a maintainable and a huntable level. And making changes now is one of those that works with Pointer. I believe Pablo, or you're heavily involved in that one. But
Yeah.
that really stuck out to me, that it's a big deal for conservation and
Yeah.
doing more than just, hey, y'all
Absolutely.
come down here and shoot
It's not
everything.
just
I'm sure
about-
it's easy
That-
for
that's-
people to be
that's-
irresponsible.
that's very important. What Kyle, sorry guys, I interrupt.
No, you're
fine.
But what Kyle is talking is very important, and I'm gonna be honest. A lot of things happen in my life because I just been opening my eyes when things pop up in front of your eyes. That biologist that he's talking, like 3 years ago, the government wanted to do kind of a research on the duck population in Buenos Aires, and you know, like third world countries, they organized something that was not very well organized, and we took one of the biologists around, and few months after, my pop up, my lights come in, and it said I got to do something. I got friends at Delta Waterfall, Ducks Unlimited, CCA, and I thought, why we're not doing this in Argentina? Why I never thought about it? I've been 20 years and I never thought about doing a little research. So I called Juan. Juan is a biologist. That was in 2019 at the beginning of the year. I said, Juan, would you like to do something regarding the duck hunting in Argentina, in Buenos Aires? I said, Pablo, what you got in mind? I don't know. I said, we need to start simple, Juan. I don't want to do something that the goal is so big that we can make it. And we started with just counting birds, finding the species, tracking the species, start checking where they breed, and we started making like this area we hunt, so this area we do not hunt, and we keep it. So we are very, very proud to say that there is not another Argentinian company with a non-profit for conservationism. But we do not say that just feeling different. We are just saying that we feel we are the first one, but we are sure our Argentinians friends that are in the same business, they're going to go the same direction. They're going to make it happen because they are so passionate about the hunting as we are. We live from the hunting and fishing, and we learn from the Americans. But it took me a couple of years to find out, guys. It's not one day from the other. So, Kyle, thank you for reminding or remembering us that. And again, if there is people that would like to get involved, and we're not talking about money here, we're talking about energy. Money is easy to get it when you got a good project. Energy to join you in a project, especially if the project is tough, is much more difficult to get. So any energy, any people, any person, any biologist, any person that would like to come and spend some time helping us, I'm going to be very, very glad to invite him as our guest.
Yeah.
That's cool. They're very interesting.
Yeah. I'm really glad you brought that up because I
For
feel
sure.
like that's always on the tip of somebody's tongue when they talk about, like a dove hunt down there, that it's just like, wow, isn't it just kind of like indiscriminate? Well, it's not really. Like, it's a different thing, and people are not accustomed to seeing those kinds of numbers. And then you see 200,000 birds, and you could shoot a bunch of them because there's a bunch of them,
Right.
So, but to kind of do what you guys are doing and giving back and really kind of taking a step to not only offer these kind of opportunities but protect those opportunities for the future is awesome to see.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's difficult because the new generations sometimes, especially in foreign countries like Argentina. I got 3 kids. Sophie is 15, Joaquin is 13, and Emma is 9. And I can get complaints, or they can tell me in the future, Daddy, why you never did that, or why you were not thinking about this. And I've been lucky because my eyes were open through some other people. I was not smart enough to open it by my own, but I've been smart enough to see when somebody told me, Pablo, if you see the bigger picture, if you go farther, what we are lucky enough to say we're a strong and big company just to get some funds and putting there. So with small money, with a lot of efforts and a lot of energy, we can do a lot of changes. So I learned that don't go for the money, don't go for the funds, just make it happen. Make people see you are working in one direction, and people will follow you. Like Kyle join us, and I am so happy and glad to have somebody like Kyle, helping us and being around. Sometimes I think I am so fortunate that somewhere around the corner should be not working, and I will learn tomorrow. Anyway, guys, I don't want to make it boring for all of you.
No, not at all. It's very
My
interesting.
beer is not cold anymore. I guess yours is the same.
Totally. So, well, I mean, we really appreciate you guys being on the podcast. And Stacy, you mentioned the website. For you guys who are listening, there'll be plenty of information in the show notes. Follow. Is there an Instagram or a social media account that people could follow and keep track of you?
Yes, both. So we have pointer bait game, pointer wing shooting, pointer fishing, pointer deep fishing. We also have birding. We're bird watchers and conservationists. So we have quite a few Instagram and Facebook pages. Just look for pointer.
Okay.
If people go to beagleinternational.com, they will find all the links and connections to all areas for travel and leisure. If people go to pointeroutfitters.com, they will find the links very easily to go to the wing shooting or bird hunting, big game hunting, fly fishing, and deep fishing Caribbean. Fly fishing is all over around the world. Some of the destinations we operated, some other of the destinations we do not operate it, but we work it in together that from people in the industry that we met from these many years that we've been working, and is what we recommend people to go. And we use it as a way of providing an additional service to our friends. So I hope this is enough. Then, guys, for our nonprofits, soaringargentina.org and makingchangesnow.org is the other 2 nonprofits. Again, we're not asking for funds. We're asking for people that would like to spend energy. If you guys, any person that would like to join us and spend some energy, just text us or send us an email. We'll be very, very enthusiastic to get you at home.
For sure.
Perfect.
Awesome.
That's great. So, thank you all for listening to the podcast, and make sure you check out all that information. Like I said, in the show notes, you can probably get some information off of our Instagram account if you want kind of a place, and we'll point you back out to that as well. So
We can put it in our link tree.
Yep, we can put it as a link in the bio. Link in the bio. There you go. So, guys, we really appreciate you guys joining us on the podcast, and for sure, we will be doing this in person in January maybe live from the
ESC.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome,
Maybe
me
it's from
too.
Javier's.
Oh, 100% there.
Hey,
100% there. Some cigars.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
feel very
Come on.
proud for your invitation. This was a general information podcast to talk about Pointer Outfitters and Beagle International. But in the future, we will be pleased to join you. If there is some specific thing, maybe we set up an agenda on something very specific and we go to that specific subject or one specific lodge, or even about travel and leisure in Argentina, like the waterfalls or the glaciers or the wine areas or Buenos Aires. Whatever you think or whatever you could need, just let Kyle know, and I'll be open for you guys anytime.
Absolutely. And you're saying Beagle International?
Yes.
Sir.
Can you spell that for our
Like the
listeners?
dog,
Like the dog.
Like the
Like
dog.
the dog.
Okay,
Like the
perfect.
dog, yeah.
Perfect.
Like the
Just
dog.
wanted to make sure.
Stay with the dog
we got
face.
the pointer dog. We got the pointer dog.
You got the
for
pointer dog and the beagle
fishing.
dog. That's perfect.
Exactly.
Genius.
Exactly.
Genius.
Yes.
So we got the beagle dog.
Really cool.
Perfect. That makes complete sense. Thank y'all very much.
Yeah, thank
this
you
is
guys,
awesome.
and thank you all
Looking
for
forward to
listening to the
January.
podcast. Make sure you
Thank you
subscribe
guys.
to
It
the
was great
podcast.
fun.
Thank you guys very
Yes,
much.
ma'am.
Appreciate it.
And,
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
rate and
guys.
review.
Thank you, Pablo. I'll see you soon.
Storm drain out.
Stormwater Creek is the best. Grinch, the captain. Aim, the helper. Jordan, the problem solver. I hope you like Stormwater Creek. Stormwater Creek.